Hi class, this is Dr. Carla Piper, your course developer. Today we're going to talk about line. This is your first art project in this class. I want you to remember that the process is more important than the product. We're just experimenting with line. In the class I've included definitions. We're going to talk about curved lines, diagonal lines, zigzag lines, perpendicular, wavy, parallel. I've also included some famous artwork. Here's some Miro, talking about different artists who use line in many different ways, and as you trace the different lines on this painting, you'll see that he's very free with his line. Some of it is heavy, some of it makes patterns, some makes shapes, and you'll just want to take a look at famous artists and how they use line. It's great to look at the chairs of Chagall and the walkway and bridge of Matisse and Paul Klee, and look at those lines and try to open your eyes and see line in everything around you. Now, one of the resources I included is a book by Joy Evans. I highly recommend that you might purchase this book. I think you'll use this constantly when you're working with your children. I included a link to Google Books because, as it happens, Google Books has the entire book for you, so you can get the job done, but you might want to keep this in your library of resources. Now, here's the line section, and you'll see that she's got 7 different illustrations about how you can practice with line. She has lots of wonderful ideas. This is the one that I kept in the book, where she has 6 tiles, and each tile basically treats line just a little differently. And you can use construction paper, magic markers. One of the other ideas for this, by the way, I've seen some wonderful illustrations of using string and yarn. So look around you, see what you can make line with in your household. I also included a section on computer painting. This is challenging, but it's rather fun. These were 2 illustrations I had in the class using an old Microsoft Paint. One of them obviously with the more angular line, other with curving lines. It's a challenge to paint with a mouse. You have to be patient. Oftentimes you have to make it large and then resize it and duplicate it. But there are some great free paint programs. Everyone has a free paint program available to them in Microsoft. If you go to programs and accessories, you'll see Microsoft Paint. I love this paint.net. It's free and it's really easy to use. Sumo Paint is an online paint program that anyone can use from your home and create images and then save them and put them together at home. Now, this is the newer Microsoft Paint from Office 2007, and you'll notice the illustration in the middle is my first attempt, and it's larger, and it was with a mouse. And of course, I then selected it, resized it, duplicated it, rotated it, and that border is exactly the same image, but it's in a smaller format. So you might have to play a little with it, save different images and combine them, duplicate them, rotate them. Now, one of the items I included was a PDF from Mona Brooks. Her book on drawing with children is absolutely worth buying. She has Monart lessons, and a lot of the schools have used Monart. Monart is a wonderful way, and I'll show you throughout the class of how students have used Monart concepts and principles to learn to draw and learn how to create art. But this particular PDF has 3 different levels, and it's a great way to practice. But if you're stumped as to what kind of lines and shapes that you want to form, take a look at these levels and then imitate them and see if you see what she sees, and see if you can directly imitate those. Much of drawing is training your eye. What do you see? So look around you, look at lines around you, and see how different patterns are formed with the horizon, with trees, with even advertisements. Take a look at the use of line, and you'll say, well, this looks like doodling to me. And basically, yes, we're going to doodle. Now, my last illustrations come from my iPhone. I'm an iPhone fan, and I downloaded several different drawing apps, but one of them is called Glow Paint. And one of those, that center panel, is just strictly something I painted on my iPhone while I was watching television. I then saved it on my iPhone, sent it to myself at Gmail, downloaded it, started playing, duplicating, took it to that picnic program that I love so much, framed it, saved it again, and these are all different iPhone screens. For instance, this one is one screen duplicated many times over. This is the exact same screen, manipulated, stretched, rotated. This is the same screen in three different types of patterns and rotations. And here's another one on the left that's pretty basic little iPhone doodle, and I took it into Picnic, and as you can see, I ended up with lots of different treatments of my iPhone doodle. So have fun, create line, and don't worry about the product, just have fun with the process.